Eve, a talented golfer, pretends to be Christina in a professional golf match. The cocky youngster annoys her employer, but gets paid anyway. Eve later finds out that Christina had taken the issue personally, and used the front to replay her later on. Although the old lady is pissed again, Eve wins herself and Lily some good cash. They get home to meet the police extorting Klein, their sister, and in a rage, Eve tosses her pay at him. There's no time to be angry as the kids need taken care of. Lily sets up a match with Mr. Robert. He introduces the Nefrasi Jr. champion, Helene, to play in his stead. Unfortunately, she forfeits out of fear of failure. Aoi Amawashi runs into the scene and challenges Eve with a smile on her face. In one shot, Aoi surpasses Eve and she's intrigued by her ability. The interest runs both ways and the girls go on to play the hardest course. Hole 14 has an L shape with a thick forest behind it. Eve uses her blue bullet shot to whip the ball straight through the forest with only 150 yards to the cup. Aoi's smile is stuck on her face like a child to ice cream. She hits a slice shot leaving just 138 yards to the cup. Although surprised, Eve uses her red bullet shot and the ball bursts out from the treetops but doesn't make it to the cup. Aoi shoots and it's closer to the cup. They stop to compliment each other's golf before Eve delivers the winning shot with her green bullet. She makes sure to learn Aoi's name before leaving. Eve reaches out to Rose Elion just to fulfill her promise to play another round of golf with Aoi. Rose agrees and takes Eve to see Catherine, who happens to be a sponsor for the Under 15 Championships. She requests enrolling in Eve despite her not joining any school, and they strike a deal that remains a secret. Catherine comes through and Eve is given a chance to play the last day of the championships. She runs into Aoi and they acknowledge their promise. Eve does well to scale through the ranks with her unique rainbow bullet and gains recognition like a coupon for bad products. Aoi and Eve keep tabs on each other's scores because they don't end up playing in the same group. With each hole they make, their intrigue for each other grows. Unfortunately, Aoi missed her last shot by a hair's breadth. Aoi's missed shot turns out to be the work of Rose's sidekick using a laser to distract her focus. That didn't stop her from winning though. They promised to play by 5 AM the next day, but Rose pulls Eve for an underground match that same night. Eve is led to Catherine's adaptable underground court to repay the favor. Catherine's opponent, a mafia boss, presents Viper as his representative. The stakes are high, and as the match starts, Eve utterly loses her first shot. Viper, on the other hand, had nothing but smooth sails. Eve could tell something was off even before Rose approaches her to tip her off. After Eve's shot gets stuck in the sandbox, she shoots it out directly into the cup. Viper is more surprised than a beggar getting a $100 bill. Eve exposes Viper's poisonous scent trick before going on to win the match. As per the stakes of the match, Viper has to drive Eve to her match with Aoi. Eve doesn't make it on time. Mrs. Amawashi sends investigators to look into Eve for fear that she might hold Aoi back. Aoi's gameplay makes Eve rethink why she's golfing. She remembers the love for the game in Aoi's eyes, and it messes up her game with old man Kevin. She gets home and her sister mentions VR golf and how she could play with anyone in the world on it. Eve leaves immediately to find one. She takes it for a spin, but after many games still isn't number one. She digs further and finds out that number one is a rival, Aoi Amawashi. Rose keeps tabs on both girls in VR, as she's the one who secretly set them up. Mrs. Amawashi finds nothing on Eve and is frustrated when her agent says she can't be touched. Eve's neighborhood is being torn down to be converted into a casino. In that moment, the golfer discovers it's her fault for winning the match for Catherine. She confronts Rose about it, but gets shut down. Rose suggests Eve work for Madame Catherine as a way out. The same Madame had the casino taken from her under by her rival, Nicholas. Viper approaches Eve with a sticky solution, convincing her to play for the Mafia against an already angry Madame Catherine. Viper helps Eve train for the big day, and Eve opens up about not remembering her childhood. Eve doesn't know it until it's match day, but she's to play against Rose Elion herself. Eve begins to see similarity in their golfing after Rose's crimson shot ends up 14 yards ahead of hers. As the courses get harder, Eve sees for herself how talented Rose actually is. Leo, Eve's golf teacher, visits Klein at her bar, and they discuss over a shared drink. After 7 draws in a row, Madame Catherine makes the course impossible for a straight shooter. Eve surprises everyone and uses the purple bullet, a slice shot she learned from Aoi. It's not enough to beat down the great Rose Aeleon. Rose lost her right arm as a consequence of her underground golfing, and so Leo ditched her to train Eve. Present day, and Rose's prosthetic gives way, surprising everyone on the pitch. She doesn't forfeit but shoots with her left hand only, leaving just 140 yards to the cup. Eve hits hers and it's 117 yards to the hole. The game gets heated as Rose fires her final bullet. It lingers but never makes it into the hole. Klein finally gives up and files out the kids from their home in desolation. Just before the bulldozer takes down their house, a victorious Eve emerges with the pair in the driver's seat and loads all of them onto the vehicle. They get new IDs and plan to start afresh, but word gets out that Madame Catherine put a hit on Eve. She escapes to Japan. Ichina, a student of Ryo Academy and aspiring pro caddy, misses the bus for the 4th time in a row. As she's maintaining the golf course, she turns down Haruka, refusing to be her caddy. Mid-conversation, Eve's blue bullet cut through the air between both girls, and then excited Ichina chases after her. Jinguji tries kicking Eve out, but Eve says she's not leaving till she sees Aoi, and the club president agrees, but Eve has to beat Haruka first. In a quick one-hole game, Eve emerges winner and earns the right to see Aoi. Aoi is as excited to see Eve as an elephant is to seeing peanuts. They exchange pleasantries, and Aoi pulls Eve to her room. Eve transfers to Ryo Academy to play Aoi, but it seems like the chance never comes up. This pisses her off, but she has to join the golf club. Eve tries a little and easily fits in with other girls. She spends the day at the mall, while Ichina quietly stalks her. Nightfall, and Eve crosses paths with Isashiba, a golfer from Quran, and promises to take her down as they play a game of adventure golf. Eve gets multiple holes in one, with her unconventional golfing style, and Isashiba is stumped when there's no clear path to the cup. She's saved by her partner, Kaoruko, Quran's best player. She impresses Eve with her in-the-zone shot. Ichina quickly detects Kaoruko's trap and helps Eve with the way around it. Aoi's grandfather visits her during practice and interrogates Shinjo about Aoi's competition. She tells him about Eve. Back in Ryo, Coach Amuro gifts Eve a set of clubs and all access to Athena Court for 3 days. Their party is crashed by Jinguji, who insists on following them. She tests Eve's abilities, throwing the ball into the sandpit, but Eve gets it out using her yellow bullet. They spend the next 3 days in intense training thanks to Jinguji. At the end, Eve and Aoi are chosen to play the under 15 doubles championships. It's the championship qualifiers. Eve is still mean as ever to the other players, unlike Aoi who's welcoming. Sato, a worthy rival, shoots 250 yards, just 10 yards more than Aoi. Eve comes in with over 260 yards, beating both records on the first tee. The qualifiers end with Aoi and Eve having 11 under each, and other teams immediately become cautious of Ryo Academy. 2 weeks pass and Eve reaches out to Klein and Lily for motivation. Her outfit, on the other hand, raises eyebrows on the bus, but Coach Amuro allows it as it's Eve's big debut. First thing Eve does, as they reach the championship venue, is pick a fight with Himekawa, the best player from Nara. Shinjo concludes that both girls can't sleep in the same room when Eve pecks Aoi with a compliment. After 12 teams were withdrawn from the first round, others move on to round 2. Isashiba from before and Kaoruko win their match and race down to watch Ryo Academy play. Aoi and Eve are 6 up as at their 13th hole, they pass cute banter back and forth on the course. Things become real when they witness Himekawa and Kadea play and win with 10 up on their 10th hole. At the end of day 1, everyone is pissed off, especially Eve, who takes it out on the punching bag. Day 2 and both girls are refreshed. They play their best, but somehow Himekawa's scores for the day still beat theirs. Eve takes it out on the trusty punching bag yet again. Thanks for watching Anime Recap. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more anime updates. Until next time, keep watching and stay tuned.